So, Mother, should I? Okay. Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So, Prabhus, I'm very happy to be here, and we'll get started. I've been thinking about the last few weeks. This is week number 3, and I have a question. My question is that I know for myself this has helped me a lot. Meeting with you like this, I have to prepare myself. So it forces me to strengthen and deepen my own personal Krishna consciousness, my own relationship with the holy name. A lot of things that I've been finding out about myself so nice, but they're so encouraging because this is the process that we're in. And I said to myself, well, I wonder if this is able to help the devotees. So my question for you is that since we've been having these meetings, is your japa in any way able to become better? Has this helped you in any way? And that you don't have to answer now. We'll answer that at the end of this program. That is going to be our discussion. Remember, this is us together. So I want to go back to the premise, to the reason. I'm going to do a recap today. The reason for us getting together was so that we could strengthen our relationship with Nam Prabhu. And in doing so, we decided that we would talk with each other. This isn't just me speaking, but it's an opportunity for us to have a relationship. And with the goal of being to strengthen ourselves individually so that our yatra, our temple, becomes stronger. The individual strength of each and every one of us, as we take shelter of the holy name, it will enable us to not only have a relationship with Krishna, but we'll have a relationship with the closest thing to Krishna, which is his devotees. And I think we need to remember that. So there's also, there's a situation which causes us not to be able to chant so nicely, which oftentimes we're not so conscious of. So I'll tell you a little story. When I was a younger man, years ago, actually decades ago, when I was a younger man, I used to be a Sankirtan devotee, a book distributor. And I would always think I'm going to call my old girlfriend, and speak with my old friends. At night, I think like that. But when I came home, I had to immediately read and get ready to take rest because Japa began the night before. And in so doing, I'd have to take rest early so that I could rise early. Once I get up, I've got 15 minutes to be showered and dressed, tilak works, so that 2:30, I've got an hour and a half to chant japa. At 4 o'clock, I can go meet Lord Jagannath on the altar and place his crowns. After that, I dive into the kirtan. We have the morning program. From the morning program, we grab a little prasadam and get in a van where we're off to the airport. At the airport, my first time in the day, I acknowledge, Lord Chaitanya, I'm going to let the books fly. I just asked you to cover them. So at the end of the day, every day, that 40 books would be out, and Lord Chaitanya would make sure that I paid for everything. Other than that, the temple community would be unhappy. And I remember those beads of sweat being on my forehead. And the last couple books, when I got them out, when I finished, I would say, thank you, Lord Chaitanya. And so there was a relationship. There was a dependence. Even on the shaky days, I would read a little Gita or something. But it came to the point that I knew that Lord Chaitanya would take care of everything. So for ourselves, we have to become dependent on Krishna like that. And just as I said, it's not that I was such a good devotee. No, I was always thinking of how I'm going to take time for sense gratification. But the regulation had changed. Maya has a whole world of illusion set up for us. And we have old habits and old situations which put us into a certain pattern to stay in that illusion. The onus is on us to change that, to give ourselves new things to do. Instead of eating nonsense, we always make sure we're taking prasad. And instead of talking nonsense, no prajapa, we always have Krishna Katha, something to talk to with one another. And in that way, our whole life becomes filled with a different regulation, which brings us closer and dearer to Krishna. This is what I was thinking about when I was thinking about japa. It's so personal that you have to ask yourself, what are those things I'm doing in my life that after I finish my rounds, it's showing me, it's showing Krishna that I'm really not that interested. These are just simply bad habits. So we have to replace them with good habits. Now, when I look back at what we did so far, we talked about when we're chanting japa, there's three people involved. There's us, Krishna, and our mind. And no matter what the mind does, the mind's a taster, but it's a jumper. So the mind is going to try to pull away. We have to bring it back. That was the first understanding we had. And then there were 9 keys that Borijan Prabhu minded from the Shashastika. And those 9 keys, when chanting japa, if we learn them, if we apply them, they help us. The first key, remember, is to just chant Hare Krishna. The second one is that one mantra at a time. So we had to stay focused on that mantra. The mind wants to jump, but in order to stay fixed, we make a determination, a sankalpa. We say, no, one round at a time. I can't fix those that I've messed up. I can't worry about the future. I'm staying right here. And that way our consciousness is there. In order to do that, when the mind jumps, bring it back under the control of the self. Well, how can just become detached? 5th key, be detached, 6th key, as we continue to go on, we find that the mind is again trying a stunt, but now we're just going to ignore the mind. We've got our determination, we're in our groove. And the 7th key is so essential to our success in Krishna consciousness, and that is the key of humility. Without humility, the door doesn't open, the lights don't come on. So in this way, the later keys we'll talk about. The 9th key is Namashraya, and taking shelter of the holy name. And the 9th key is also that hugely important key because we're waiting for Krishna's causeless mercy. So this morning, we're going to do something different because I need to know what's happening with you. I hope you have your beads with you this morning. And remember, when we were discussing this, we understood our fortune, that the living entities, that they're all over the universe. But when we're fortunate, we get the mercy of Guru. Krishna comes. Remember, I was having a hard time. Brahmanda, Brahmate, Kon, Bhagyavan Jeev, Guru Krishna, Prasade Pai, Bhakti Lata Beach. That the fortunate soul, he receives the mercy of Krishna through the agency of the Guru. And the Guru implants that seed of devotion. The watering process is our process of Krishna consciousness. So when that happens, that's all coming from the spiritual master. The blessing is from Guru Krishna, but the spiritual master gave us a gift. For those of us who sat into that arena, sat in front of the fire, he gave us a gift and an instruction. Four don'ts, and no intoxication, no gambling, no illicit sex, no meeting. And do chant 16 rounds daily, 16 good rounds, and avoid the 10 offenses that we also went over. So, I thought last Saturday evening show that we should chant Hare Krishna together. If nothing else happens, this will be that we came together and we were able to chant Hare Krishna together. And then I listened to my class of Satchidananda Swami on Sunday morning, and sure enough, he took us through a meditation of chanting. If you've never gone to these classes, at the end, Vrindavaneshwari has to tell you how to get on the Living Names program with Satchidananda Swami. We're taking so much from him. So anyway, settle yourselves and get ready to chant just one round, you know. And remember, you want to bring in all the things that we've learned. You want to remember that Krishna is a person. You know, remember that sweet Krishna, Madhuram, Vapa Ashavibor, the sweet form of Krishna. And his name is none different, but his name is Etan Mangala Mangalanam. It's the most auspicious of auspicious things. So we're going to chant with our dependency on Krishna, trying to open our hearts. Take that deep breath, get settled. We're just going to do one round. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Shri Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Ram
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram,
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Hare Hare Ram,
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram
Ram
Ram,
Ram Hare
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 Krishna Hare Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna
Hare
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 Hare Hare Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare, Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare Hare
Ram,
Ram
Hare Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram Hare Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna Hare Hare Ram
Hare Krishna, Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram Hare Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare Ram,
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare Krishna, Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram Hare Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna Hare
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 Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna, Krishna
Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare Ram
Krishna
Ram Ram Hare
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 Hare Ram,
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare
Ram Hare Ram Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Hare Hare Ram,
Hare Hare
Krishna,
Krishna Hare Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare
Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare
Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram Hare Hare Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare
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 Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare
Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram
Krishna
Ram Hare
Krishna
Hare
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 Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare
Hare Hare Hare Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram Hare
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 Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare Hare Ram
Hare
Hare Ram
Krishna, Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Hare
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 Krishna
Hare Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare Ram Hare Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram 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 Hare Hare Hare
Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram Hare
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 Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram
Krishna,
Ram Hare
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 Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram
Hare 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 Krishna
Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram Ram Ram
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram
Ram Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Krishna
Hare Ram Hare
Hare
Ram Ram
Ram
Ram
Ram
Hare Hare
Ram
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram
Hare
Hare Ram
Ram
Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Ram
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 Hare
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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare
Ram Hare Ram
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 Hare
Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Rama,
Ram
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare Ram
Krishna
Hare Ram
Krishna, Hare Rama,
Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare
Krishna,
Ram Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Rama,
Hare
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 Rama,
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Rama,
Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram
Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna
Rama,
Krishna Hare
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 Rama,
Ram Hare Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare Ram Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna,
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare Hare
Krishna,
Hare Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Hare
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 Hare Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram, 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 Hare Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram
Hare Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram, Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram
Hare
Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare Ram,
Ram
Hare Ram, Ram, Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare
Hare
Hare Hare Ram Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna,
Ram Ram
Hare
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 Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Hare Hare
Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna,
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Ram Hare 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 Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
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 Ram
Ram, Hare Ram,
Ram
Ram,
Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare Ram, Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Ram, Ram,
Hare
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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare Ram 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 Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare Ram Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram
Hare
Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare Ram Hare Ram
Ram Ram Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
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 Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
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 Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare
Hare Ram Hare
Ram,
Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare
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 Ram
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram, Ram Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram
Ram,
Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna 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 Hare
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 Ram,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram
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 Ram,
Ram Hare
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Ram
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 Hare
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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare
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 Krishna,
Ram Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare Hare Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna 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 Hare
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 Krishna,
Ram Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna,
Ram Ram Hare
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 Ram,
Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram
Hare
Ram Ram Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
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 Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
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 Hare.
Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram,
Ram Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Ram Hare Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
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 Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Ram Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare, Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Ram, Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. So I hope that worked for you. I heard a lot of real good Japa in my ear. I don't know who that was, but I want to get with that person. I want that association. Somebody was in this right ear, and my God, he was mowing it down. Hey, Krishna, I love that. So anyway, we're going to move along because we got a lot to do this morning, and we're going to go back to that chanting. Remember, the question is, what is happening? What is this doing for you? And we have to be open and honest. Right now, we're going to go to Borijan Prabhu, and we're going to let him speak about the Shashastika. This book actually opens like that. But today, we're really dealing with Japa. This is what it is today, Borijan Prabhu. So I'm gonna mow through the first few, and just let's stay closely. I hope you can hear me well because it's really, really sweet. Chaito Darpana Majanam Baba Mahada Vagni Nirvarpanam Shreya Kaivara Chandrika Vitaranam Vijavadu Jivanam Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam Pratipadam Pranamritasvadanam Sarvat Asnapanam Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtana. Let there be all victory for the chanting of the holy name of Lord Krishna, which can cleanse the mirror of the heart and stop the miseries of the blazing fire of material existence. That chanting is the waxing moon that spreads the white lotus of good fortune for all living entities. It is the life and soul of all education. The chanting of the holy name of Krishna expands the blissful ocean of transcendental life. It gives a cooling effect to everyone and enables one to taste full nectar at every step. This is a translation in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So he lists here those 7 effects, from chanting good japa. But let's stick with it. We're going to go to the next one. And you wonder why I didn't explain it so much. We'll catch up. Nam nam makari bahuda nija sarva shaktis tatrapita niyamitak smarne nakala. Etadrashi talakripa bhagavan mamapi dodaivam idrisham ihajani nanuraga. O my Lord, your holy name alone can render all benediction upon the living beings, and therefore you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you have invested all your transcendental energies, and there is no hard and fast rule for chanting these holy names. O my Lord, you have so kindly made approach to you easy by your holy names, but unfortunate as I am, I have no attraction for them. Shashastika 2. These are the 8 stanzas that have been left by Lord Chaitanya. And they've been opened up, you know. The 6 Goswamis, they elaborated on the message, the teachings of Lord Chaitanya, Rupa and Sanatan. But here, all of them. But here, Borijan Prabhu is opening them up. And in such a wonderful way. Now I have to fast forward to get to another section. 2 down. And you'll see why I didn't cheat you and start rambling and giving you my interpretation. Now we're going to approach the 3rd. Here Borijan Prabhu says, the first verse of Shashastika glorifies the holy name and describes the results of chanting, especially mentioning the holy name's ability to conquer the material energy, which is otherwise unconquerable. In the 2nd verse, however, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explains that although Krishna has kindly filled his many holy names with his full Shakti, we fail to get the 7 effects of chanting mentioned in the 1st verse. This is because of our anarthas, especially the offenses we commit. We hear this and we are sincere, so we work on our anarthas. We realize that they prohibit us from seeing Krishna. Our nartas and aparads pull us away over and over again from simply listening to Krishna's name. Our methods should lead to perfect chanting and on to ecstasy, one would expect. Then the Shastaka's third verse would describe the ecstatic symptoms one attains after abiding the knowledge of the first two verses. But no, the third verse describes a humble condition. After hearing everything we've heard and after recognizing our condition and what we must do to improve it, Janayi Suniya Bisa Kainainu, still we drink poison. Still we remain attached to the material world and its sense objects. And still we remain afraid of giving ourselves to the holy name of Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu speaks the third verse of the Shastaka to teach us the essence of the devotional process. After we develop faith in the holy names, we gather our knowledge and intelligence, and on the strength of our faith, try to concentrate while we chant. It doesn't take long to notice that our strength and intelligence are insufficient. Our high estimation of ourselves as capable and sincere, estimations based on false ego, are unable to help. The mind, which works endlessly to protect our false sense of self, cannot help either. Instead, we find that when we sincerely try to chant, to perform devotional service for the pleasure of Krishna and the Vaishnavas, the first result isn't ecstasy, but humility. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore writes, Trinadapi Sunatena, Turo api Sahishnuna, Amanena Manadena, Kirtaniya Sadadari. This is the third verse of the Shastaka. In this third verse, it opens us up. Srila Prabhupada said this is the one we should wear like a garland around our necks. If we want to approach the holy name, forget our accomplishments, forget all the zeros. I can do this, I'm that. They're zeros. Without the one, they're useless. They're zeros. But we will never get the one until we take the key of humility. I've got to read on because it's too good. One who thinks himself lower than the grass, who is more tolerant than a tree, and who does not expect personal honor, but is always prepared to give all respect to others, can very easily always chant the holy name of the Lord. Actually, humiliation seems to come even before humility. If I compare the sankalpas I made and with what I actually did and the results of that, the truth becomes clear. My determined effort to advance in Krishna consciousness, renouncing once and for all my nartas, my offenses, and the petty material desires that have invaded my consciousness, have not been successful. I become painfully aware of my incapacity, overcome by things unrelated to Krishna, things I have chosen to indulge in. I now find myself embarrassed. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu describes humility as the path to pure chanting, for it will in time be followed by full dependence on Krishna. Humility is the natural result of the sincere desire to advance in Krishna consciousness. Whew, what eloquence. It is the natural result of the sincere desire to advance in Krishna consciousness. It is easy for those who are not serious about advancement to think that they are advancing quickly. They may even wonder why so many devotees struggle when Krishna consciousness is obvious, natural, and easy. These young souls conceive of devotional service as a series of activities rather than a full surrendering of the heart. But those who actually want to love Krishna and purify the heart have to turn on the light in the room of their consciousness, a room they discover that has not been cleaned since time immemorial. Krishna consciousness seems easy when the light is off because we cannot see the dirt. But as soon as the light goes on, we see only dirt. This vision awakens humility. Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasi, Sri Gaura Bhaktivinoda. So this is the state. As we try to go forward in Krishna consciousness, the one thing that we need in every aspect is humility. We need that key. And that key won't come unless we allow ourselves to be purified, unless we see ourselves through the eyes of the scriptures, through the eyes of knowledge, unless we see our pathetic, pitiful situation that we had a relationship and we have a relationship with Krishna. And the reason that we don't experience it is because somehow we gave it up. Krishna didn't turn from us. He's still here. He's still coming. He's still sending his good son. He's expanding again and again. He's coming, trying to get us. He stays with us in the heart as super soul. So Krishna is not abandoning us. But this relationship has to be rectified, and non-Prabhu is the way. Got a few more goodies for you. Vaishnavas are tolerant because they realize their insignificance and how much lies between their desire to surrender to Krishna and the actual fulfillment of that desire. Instead of focusing on perceived insults, they focus on cleaning their consciousness, and they spend no time criticizing others, even those who may try to offend them. They practice seeing everything that happens to them as Krishna's mercy for their rectification. But real humility is different and is difficult to achieve. It is not the product of the intelligence, but a deep spiritual realization. To be fixed in humility is called nistha. Those who become serious in Krishna consciousness begin to understand the deep lamentation of the acharyas like Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and they feel a little of it themselves. They are forced to become humble, especially when they attempt to chant attentively and without offense. I have heard that Srila Prabhupada glorified even the attempt at pure chanting when he told a disciple, quote, simply the sincere and conscious attempt and the continuous attempt to chant attentively without offense is the Namashraya Namabas platform. So whatever we do, you'll find that these keys are going to come back. But the first thing that we have to remember is if we want Krishna, we can't offend him. And that first thing that we do is do not criticize devotees. We don't know where devotees are in their evolvement of their devotional life. We don't know if they're new, if they're old souls, if they're finishing up. If we criticize them, we're criticizing that soul which is so dear to Krishna. He takes a whole section to explain the different characteristics of the devotees in the Bhagavad Gita and how they are so very, very dear to him. So we have to be careful in that light. When the light goes on in the consciousness, we see our shortcomings and naturally become humble. The amanina manadena, we will require no respect for ourselves, but we will give all respect to others. When we reach that state of mind, kirtaniya sadadhari, we will be able to chant the holy name constantly. What is the connection between humility and constant and inoffensive chanting? Humility makes us beg to serve the devotees. Our spiritual master, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Nityananda Prabhu, and Sri Sri Radha and Krishna. As our aspiration grows, we will see how weak it is, and yet we will treasure it. We will soon realize that our only hope to attain our goal is to take shelter of the holy names. When the desire to serve Krishna is mixed with humility and full awareness of both our impurity and our inability, we will have found the key of taking shelter of Krishna's name. I just think that is as sweet as it gets. I am so interested in us being able to go through the living names. I thought like that from the beginning. But I thought that the different devotees have shared their realizations, their deep understandings of trying to deeply have a relationship with Namprabhu. Therefore, I thought we need to hear from them. And it's these books that I read from, it's several of them. But these books are not just books. These are Srila Prabhupada's teachings, chewed up, explained to us in an easily understandable way. Therefore, when I hear these different literatures about the holy name, I become both enlightened and enlivened. And I felt as though in our community, because this was about our community, our temple, our devotees, that if we take shelter like this, personally, we become stronger. And then the devotees that are around us, we can establish genuine relationships. Any fool can see the faults. You can see so many faults in me, but to resolve how to take care, how to fix those problems, that takes some depth. Ultimately, no matter what we have, we're still ultimately dependent on the grace of Krishna. That last key, we are waiting for Krishna's causeless mercy. And I give the analogy of that young boy whose mother says, I'm coming. She says, Johnny, you just stay put. I'm coming. I'll be there in 45 minutes. That young boy, he goes on, he may sit there back straight, waiting for mommy. He may decide to play marbles or play around with his friends. He'll do whatever he wants to do. But there's one thing that is fixed deep within his consciousness, is that mommy is coming. Mommy said that she'll be here, so mommy's coming. He has no doubt. He's fixed in consciousness. I love the analogy because I'm too that boy. When my mother used to tell me something, I felt completely safe. I didn't care what happened, what I did, because my mother was going to come and do exactly what she said. If only I could transfer that type of attachment to the words of Krishna. Krishna will come. The pain that we endure in our devotional life is for our purification. I can't remember the verse now. I don't want to mess up another one. But for one who undergoes the Tatenu Kampam Susamikshmano, who undergoes, different hardships, paraphrasing, but who patiently waits for Krishna in the core of his heart, then liberation becomes his rightful claim. Krishna is coming. We just have to call him. We have to want him. We have to appreciate the devotees that are around us. And what are we chanting? We're petitioning Radha and Krishna to give us service. That's what we're asking. We're asking to be used, to be manipulated by the Supreme Lord. Therefore, our service attitude will shine. It will show if we take serious the chanting of these names. Make all arrangement, make all preparation to chant these names nicely. I don't have any sweet balls in my bag today, but I do hear something. Jeev Jango, Jeev Jango, Gora Chandra Bole, Kota Nidra Jaho Maya, Pisa Cheya Kole, Jeev Jango, Jeev Jango. Wake up, sleeping souls. Gora Chandra Bole, Kota Nidra Jaho Maya, Pisachiya Kole. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Let me hear you. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare,
Hare
Rama,
Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama.
Rama,
Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare.
Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare. Only one thing to say. Jai Prabhupada.
Jai Prabhupada.
This is the gift that we get from our spiritual master. So all the wonderful things that are going to happen for us, they happen because Lord Chaitanya is so desirous of giving us pure love of God. Srila Prabhupada, remember the early things we talked about. Srila Prabhupada has actually come here to make sure that we could get this love of God. And it's all about taking shelter of the holy name. So I want to leave a little time for us, but there's a few things I have to tell you. One is Brindavaneshwari, Mother Brindavaneshwari. I want us to be able to communicate. So if there's a devotee that you've met on this conference, and you have their number, their name, devotees should actually exchange emails, names, so that we can communicate with one another. If there's something that works for you, make a friend. The other thing, for my personal information, anyone can call me, anyone can email me, because I'm so happy to try to become better with the holy name. I want to tell you where the information comes from that we're dealing with. It comes from these literatures. I'm rooted from Japa Reform, my Guru Maharaj. You know this Japa is so important to us. Borijan's Japa. I love Nam Rahasya by Satchidananda Swami. Oh, but don't forget the broken names, Satchidananda Swami. I pulled from this Japa Transformation, Satrup Das Goswami. And next week, we're going to finally discuss this, because so many of us went to the conference, the living names. Actually, we're building up to the living names. Satchidananda Swami does such a great job. There's nothing we need to do about it. But I want to prepare us so that instead of just having books, we can actually take shelter of the living names. This is our relationships. These books, Jagannath Priya should have them at the store. If she doesn't, you call me or call Mother. I've become brain dead to get Mother, you. And I have the books. I buy lots of books so that in case devotees want to get the books.
Go to breakfast, take my medicine.
What happened?
So Dad, what do you eat? What kind?
Anyway.
I think he just had his phone was not on mute, so we overheard him. So
okay. So anyway, this is important that you should, if you have the books, pull them out of the closet. Let's read them. If you don't have them, it's important to get them, because then we have so much to share together. In the beginning of the program, I told you I don't know if things are working if anything is helping you. And I hope so. But anyway, if anyone has any realizations, reflections, questions, we can share them at this time.
So Prabhu, thank you so much for doing these classes. It's been really helpful for me.
Mother, you're very broken up.
Oh, it's probably my internet.
I don't hear.
Can you hear me?
I don't hear it right.
Okay, I'll let someone else.
You're
I'll let someone else ask. My internet's a little wonky, so I'll let someone else.
Okay.
Hare Krishna, Haryasva Prabhu.
Yes, Hare Krishna, Jonah. Please accept my humble obeisance. Glory to Prabhupada.
Please accept mine. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. There were a couple of things that really jumped out at me from what you said today, and I guess in ways that I never really thought about. And one of them is that we could do everything right. To prepare to do our japa nicely. We could do all the recommendations, and still we may not, and still we're dependent on Krishna to provide the mercy to really get the full benefit out of the japa. It's not fully dependent upon us. That there's the Krishna component. And when you said that we have to wait for Krishna's mercy, depending on Krishna, knowing that Krishna will eventually come, we have to be patient. I think sometimes that's where people get lost. People may drift away. They may feel that they're giving an earnest, sincere endeavor to try to do this, but they may feel like, okay, Krishna hasn't descended. Krishna hasn't come into he's not dancing on my tongue. He's not, it's that part. I've done everything right, they may feel, but Krishna hasn't yet descended. That may not be, and I think philosophically, to know that everything does not depend upon me. I'm not in control. I'm still at the mercy of Krishna all the time. That point, I thought you brought out very clearly today. I don't know if you want to elaborate on it at all anymore. But that was important for me. So thank you.
Well, thank you, Jonah. But there's something that we have to remember. We have to remember that we are pure souls, but we're conditioned souls. We're bombarded by the two bodies, the subtle body and the gross body. And that without purifying our existence, then we're under the sway of the Ahankara, be it the mind, the false ego itself. It's all these things are part of our illusion, our bewilderment. But it is Krishna's kindness that we come to the point of frustration and feel that there's no hope for me. I'm doing the right things. In that condition, our faith is being tested, but it's also being built. We're being beat down. And at that state, we turn to the person that we're supposed to be calling and we say, Krishna, I can't do this. This is not working. Please help me. Please help me. I'm not tasting. Please. One has to beg for the nectar of the holy name. And in our rightful state and the state of real consciousness, we beg. We're begging not the president, the supreme personality of Godhead. There's no false conception left. We're purging ourselves of that. We beg. Every great soul will tell you, well, what is the secret? You've got to beg. Let him know that you want mommy. You got to beg. And your heart connects with Krishna's. So oftentimes Krishna is bringing us to the point of that deep yearning, of longing, of really wanting to connect with him. And you should be assured, here's a point of faith, he's coming to get me. He told me, my devotee will never perish. He told me, you know. Any other points?
Hare Krishna, Haryasva Prabhu, this is Sudevi.
Yes, Mother. I'm so happy to hear you.
Okay, Prabhu, nice class. Well, I have a realization and a question. So the realization is I was very much lamenting not being able to go to the temple after going for so long every day. So then I got a realization. I said, well, I can't go, but Krishna is coming to me in the form of the holy name. And he's right here, he will come to me even if I can't go. So for a couple of days, I started thinking like that and chanting, like, oh, Krishna has come. So I received him chant, and it went well. But then my question is, it did not stay. It's kind of, you understand my question?
Your question is?
That realization and that the mindset, it did not last very long. For a couple of days, I said, yeah, Krishna
Oh,
is
you
here.
said it didn't last very long.
Yes.
Oh, Mother, the thing is that Krishna is always there. He's always there. You meet him every morning. Every day you have darshan with Krishna because we're separating. Our tendency is that we're still covered. You're separating Nam Prabhu from the gorgeous, beautiful form you see in the temple, but they're the same. And so therefore, you have to call him. When you go to meet him, you're having darshan. If you open your heart, you'll see him. If he opens it first, we'll see him. And if you don't see him, Srila Prabhupada said, today that remembrance of you came to me in a very nice way. I had a great longing for you. I called out to you. You're my very dear friend, and I miss your association so much. Vipalamba, still, the mood is separation. Ayidina Dayadra Nutta, hey, Matodan Dazakadavalokishe, Yamtomaloka Kataram Daite Brahmitim, Kim Karam Yahum, on the higher end. But even on a lower level, we experience this. Oh, my Lord, O most merciful Master, O Master of Mathura, O Lord Jagannath in the temple, when shall I see you again? Because of my not seeing you, my agitated heart has become unsteady. Oh, most beloved one, what shall I do now? These are natural emotions. These are the byproducts that come from trying to be a sincere devotee in the service of the Lord. So you miss him. When will I see you again? He loves that. He'll leave the Rasa dance in a flash. Everybody's having a great time, and he just goes and leaves everybody. That's Krishna's nature. But this is a special time for us, Mother. So the pain that you're feeling, it's good pain. Because, it's when there's separation, eventually there's union. But they tell me separation is higher. Anyway, you're doing fine, Mother Sudevi. I'm always waiting for your questions, your comments.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Jai, Hare Krishna. This is Chintamani from Gitanagari. Jai,
Welcome.
Hare Krishna, Haryasva Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much for these programs. Thank you for the organizers. I look forward to this every week. There was so much going on the internet, and I make sure I come to this every Saturday morning. And I just want to thank you for so many things. My husband works on Saturday, so he can't come. And every time he comes home from work, I tell him everything that you shared every week. I take notes. But this last point that you were emphasizing in terms of begging for Krishna. So you asked at the beginning how our chanting has been affected from being able to share in these sessions. And for me, many things, but the great emphasis from so many different angles that you share on crying out to the Lord, begging, appealing, calling on our spiritual master, just falling out, Lord, just help me. I need you so badly. So I just thank you for, one, I thank you for your ability to be authentic, honest, and transparent, because your willingness to share with us your experience and your process, I find it makes it very relatable for me. yet at the same time, your great advancement and your deep desire for the holy name gives me hope that maybe I can get there. So, and you know, last week you said something which Vrindavan Ashri commented on when you said that your heart was blocked, and you said, what does Krishna feel when we're calling his name and it's not coming from our hearts? And that made me cry also. So I want to thank you for sharing your experience, sharing your surrender to, you know, different scriptures and different saints in the past and in the present, our leaders who guide us, the books, showing an example of the many ways we can cry out to Krishna and just deepen our love for his sweetness. So I just want to thank you. It's made a difference for me. And I hope you keep going every Saturday and don't stop. That's my request. Haribo.
Well, next, Mother, thank you so much. You've been so encouraging. My next week is our last Saturday. It's important that we show up. How we connect after them, we don't know. We haven't figured out. But my point is that the holy name is so important. And I am a person who too suffers from not, you know, feeling that ecstasy. So, and that's what Borijan Prabhu told me. And as the years have gone on, I found out that once you get yourself in a position to beg, I thought, I can't be fake. How am I going to beg for the next? I can't. That's fake. But what is fake is to think that I have an existence separate from Krishna.
Yes.
What is fake is to think that I'm the controller. That's all fake. What is genuine and real is to know my pathetic position and to call out and to ask him to help us.
Yes.
You know, and thank you so very much.
Thank you. Yeah, Haribo.
So, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So,
I wanted to add. I didn't want to cut you off. Sorry, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Oh, I wanted to first thank you for these classes. They're very helpful.
Who is this?
Oh, you can't see me?
Oh, no.
Oh, hold on. Let me take these headphones off. Can you hear me now?
I hear you, but I don't see you. I don't know who I'm talking to.
This is Gaur Shakti.
Oh, I don't see you now, Gaur Shakti. I saw you earlier.
Oh, you can't see me?
It's okay.
Okay. But I was just going to thank you, and I wanted to say, speaking of, you still not hear me?
Something is breaking you up now.
I'll type it in the chat.
Okay, this is good. If you speak loud, I can hear you. Just speak like you're speaking now.
Okay, you can hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Well, I wanted to thank you for the class, first and foremost. And I wanted to just add, speaking of Satyananda Swami, he's going to be on a podcast tomorrow, Wisdom of the Sages. So people should check it out. It'll be on
Check
Spotify,
that out.
all that.
What time? Give the time. What time?
I think it's on a Zoom at 8 o'clock or on I think also on Wisdom of the Sages Facebook. Like you can watch it live on Wisdom of the Sages on Facebook. It's Raghunath and Kastuba. And then it goes up.
I love them both. I love Kastuba. I love Raghunath. I know them as young men in Krishna consciousness, and they're doing such a wonderful job. And Satyananda Swami said last week that his program is going to be later because he's going to be with Wisdom of the Sages, because he's going to be with Kastuba and Raghunath tomorrow. That's great. But Gaur Shakti, you know, that you can never thank me because I owe so much to His Holiness, Rabindra Sri Prabhu. He helps me so much. So if you just give me service to do for Rabindra Sri Prabhu, then I'm eternally indebted to you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much.
Love him. So I think we're done here, Mother. Remember, if there's conversations we need to keep going, my email is govindas with an S, vegetarian@gmail.com. I love to hear your enthusiasm in chanting, your realizations. If you need books, I hope you have books, but if you need books, I have them. And my phone number is 215-267-242-4805. But if you can get Mother Jagannath Priya from the temple, she's got them in there. Get her to get them books out. You need these books. Thank you, Prabhu. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Is that it, Mother?
Great class, Prabhu. Thank you so much, everyone. I'm putting Hari's phone number in the chat box for everyone.
Thank you, Mother. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
I have to call you. Our microphone, you've begun to break up. So,
Haribol.
Hey, Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you.
hey, Chaitanya.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Say Hare Krishna.
Good for you and Kesba. Go. Haribol.
Say Haribol.